after the Conservative Party headquarters very early this morning, who was saying, well, we now need a softer Brexit. We should safeguard the rights of EU nationals. Clearly, the British public didn't like what we had to offer when it came to the hard line that we were taking. In terms of the Tory party mechanics, we're now seeing, for want of a better expression, we're now seeing Tory MPs name their price for supporting Theresa May. They want two scalps. Fiona Hill, who was basically Theresa May's enforcer.
Doesn't mean much outside the bubble, does it, though?
Well, it does mean something. If it's, I tell you what it speaks to. Fiona Hill was Theresa May's enforcer. Nick Timothy was her voice, her speechwriter. Theresa May is a bureaucrat politician. She's a technocrat politician. She's managerial. She's never had a vision. Everything that, when you hear her speeches, often quite, emotive speeches, it's always been the voice of this man, a bearded man, known as Rasputin, a Rasputin-type character called Mr. Nick Timothy, who was basically Theresa May's vision. And the reason that this is important, that Tory MPs, are after their scalps, is because if you take those two characters away, what are you left with? Theresa May is going to be so weakened without those two people who she relied on. And she relied on them to such an extent, and I know this, that when the terror attack struck in Manchester and London Bridge, and she needed to go back into Downing Street, both of them had to suspend their roles on the campaign, on the Tory campaign, so that they were able to follow her back into, top intelligence briefings, Cobra meetings.
And these are roles you'd normally expect cabinet ministers to be filling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, Theresa May runs this coterie, has this small cabal of advisors, and the criticism was, especially around the dementia tax, was she never tested that policy with backbench MPs to seek a little bit of advice. What do you think your constituents would think of this? There was never that sort of back and forth. It was Ben Gummer, who wrote the manifesto, who of course lost one of 8 ministers who lost their seat up in Ipswich, and Nick Timothy, who was basically wrote it as well. And if you take away and I appreciate many of your listeners won't have heard of those two characters, but if you take them out of the equation, what is left at a time when Theresa May has a majority with the DUP of 9?
Yeah.
She's going to be lamed up.
Well, we shall see. Two brief questions. Where's Philip Hammond?
Well, he met the Prime Minister this morning and was part of a consensus that she should stay on.
He's stronger now, right? Because everyone was expecting him to be straight out the door. He's much stronger. So his position is strengthened. And the second thing is, what's happening in Kensington?
They've been sent home for, the tellers, I should say, have been sent home to have a rest. And counting, I think, is either going to resume this afternoon or tomorrow morning. And it's looking like it's going to go to Labour.
Say that again.
Kensington is looking like it's going to Labour. Do you know Tories can no longer afford to live in Kensington and Russians don't vote, and there are, of course, quite deprived areas of Kensington, and many Labour voters turned out to vote, and that's why we're now in a situation...
quite incredible. The royal borough of Kensington and Chelsea, you think is going to swing to Labour?
Yeah. It's incredible, incredible.
It is incredible, but emblematic, perhaps, of the whole evening.